Yo, what's up, everyone? Paul from Grindhouse Funhouse, and welcome to part two of my vinyl soundtrack collection overview. If you missed part one, it'll be linked up at the end of this video. So let's continue, shall we? Next up is Gable and Lombard, which is a movie that came out in 1976. It is the story about I'm guessing, their love affair. It stars James Brolin and Jill Clayburn, and the music is from Michel Legrand. So there you go. Summer School, 80s various artist soundtrack. Who do we got on here? We got Danny Elfman, we got E.G. Daly, we got Tone Norum. Who the hell is Tone Norum? But classic 80s comedy starring Mark Harmon, who's now, Mr. NCIS. He's been on TV for like 50 years now, but it's a really good 80s comedy. If you've never seen it, go check it out. The Long Duel, or Duel, with starring Yul Brynner. This came out in 1967. A big, huge epic like they used to do back in the day. So yeah, The Long Duel right here. It's My Turn. Diana Ross does all the music. Jill Clayburn, Michael Douglas, Charles Grodin. So there you go. Like I said, it's not very grindhouse, funhousey, but I got it anyway because why not? Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home, sci-fi. I want them all. That's the only one I got so far, but the one I covet the most is Star Trek 6, The Undiscovered Country. I do have it on tape, but I do want a vinyl of it. This was scored by, who was it scored by? Leonard Rosenman, which I do not know the man, but it's a pretty good score. Night Shift, starring Michael Keaton, Henry Winkler, one of Ron Howard's first movie, not done for Roger Corman, but an actual studio. Yeah, more various artists on this one right here. Elvis, which was a TV movie directed by John Carpenter, starring Kurt Russell. And Kurt Russell does not do his singing on this. The vocals are by Ronnie McDowell. But this is missing in my Carpenter filmography. I need to buy the movie. I know Scream Factory or Shout Factory released it. Ooh, Batman. Danny Elfman. This is definitely one of the first soundtracks I've heard as a kid. Still, left a mark. It made me a big fan of Danny Elfman for life, pretty much. And this is a reissue from Mondo. I would want to have the original pressing that came out in '89, but I got this one. It's a pretty good one. I'm going to show you the colored vinyl inside. As you can see here, it is a gatefold right here. And I'm going to show you one of the vinyls, just to show you what kind of crazy swirl they came up with for this one. And this is obviously for Prince slash, the Joker slash Batman, the two colors right here. Nice ice cream swirl. So yeah, it's pretty good pressing. I loved it. Up next, Summer Job. One of those TNA comedies from the 80s with artists on there that I do not know. But obviously, I just I would buy any of these kind of, TNA comedies, their soundtracks. Just this cover alone, it was worth buying. So there you go. Up next, The Untouchable, Ennio Morricone for Brian De Palma, and it's one of those classic soundtracks from the 80s score, especially from Ennio, who's done so many. Trying to collect them all his work would be insanity. I think he's got like 400 scored soundtracks. I'm probably going to correct it right here because I don't know the actual number, but this is one of the better ones right here. White Nights, starring Michael Baryshnikov and Gregory Hines. Another one of those various artistes soundtrack right here. The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas with Miss Dolly Parton and Burt Reynolds. Yeah, why not? Love the cover. Who doesn't love Dolly? I mean, especially her assets. But yeah. Mon nom est personne, which is My Name is Nobody. I guess this is the Québécois version of the soundtrack. It was produced by, this film was Tonivo Valeri, but produced by Sergio Leone, Terence Hill, Henry Fonda is in this. So there you go. The Electric Horseman with Willie Nelson doing most of the soundtrack on here, starring Robert Redford. There's the meme I'm sure you've seen from this movie. Like anytime you want a thumbs up or a sign of approval, this is one of the memes you could use. So it came from this movie right here. Ooh, New Jack City, which I got on Record Store Day last year. Classic hip-hop New Jack Swing soundtrack. Movie directed by Mario Van Peebles. And you got music from Ice-T, Guy, Johnny Gill, Keith Sweat. Let me show you the color of the vinyl. So there's a color, and there's also an insert right here. You can see. And then all the credits for the music, like this. And then their special color for this one was a drab gray. Isn't that pretty? Beautiful, sweet gray. So yeah, there you go for the color for that one. Then we got Breakin', a Canon film, classic, hip hop movie from the mid 80s, 1984. I know that Ice-T debuted on this thing, either as a song or you see him actually in the movie, from what I remember. But yeah, there you go, Breakin'. Grand Prix, starring Steve McQueen. Music by Maurice Jarre. And yeah. Is it Steve McQueen? No, actually it is James Garner and Eva Marie Saint. A movie that was done, and John Frankenheimer directed it. And it was shown in Cinerama, which, if you've been to LA, the theater is still there, which probably going to get to see this March again. So yeah, can't wait for that. But Grand Prix right here. Another Record Store Day release I got was the Prom Night. This is this like a 7-inch? Is that what it is? With 4 cuts from the soundtrack that who released this again? 1984, which is a Canadian label. They released it with the book release of soundtracks, Blood on Black Wax. So yeah, it was definitely a collector's item right here. Tron by Wendy Carlos, another sci-fi classic. Is it a good movie? It's an okay movie. Tron Legacy is much, much better, but with the kind of, special effects they had back in the day, it's like one of the first special effects heavy movie done in computers. But Wendy Carlos, who also did A Clockwork Orange, the soundtrack, who was Walter back then, but by this movie she was Wendy. So yeah, Tron right here. Less Than Zero, one of those mid-80s coke fuel movies about the yuppie scums. Public Enemies on this, Joan Jett, LL Cool J, Poison, Aerosmith. Early role for Robert Downey Jr. right here. So yeah, Less Than Zero. The Train, another Maurice Jarre soundtrack, and another John Frankenheimer movie starring Burt Lancaster. Just the artwork alone made me want to buy it. And the soundtrack's pretty good. I liked it. I like this old-timey soundtracks. I want to get more. The Godfather. I mean, what else can I say about this music? It is music by Nino Rota right here. And it does open up like this. You can see. So, yeah. This is The Godfather. Ooh, another soundtrack from my childhood that I quite enjoy. Home Alone, John Williams. This is a Mondo release because it never was released on vinyl here in North America. It was in a European country. I can't remember which one, but so they had to do a reissue, or not even a reissue, a first-time issue of this. And I'm going to show you the colors within. This too is a gatefold right here. You see the layout of the entire house inside right here. I'm going to show you one of the vinyls. And its color right here. Nice little insert we got here. And then that vinyl right here. It is a beautiful, beautiful red right here. So pretty. And one of the best, Christmas soundtracks of all time, if not the best. Up next, we got Gun #1, which was based on the TV series. The Peter Gunn series, of course, the TV series. And it's Blake Edwards that directed this movie. Yeah, again, beautiful artwork. This came out in, what was it? In the late 60s. I'm not seeing the date right here, but yeah, Gun right here. Another Blake Edwards movie, funny enough, A Fine Mess, starring Howie Mandel and Ted Danson. So another various artiste soundtrack added to the collection. Superman 2. The music done by, I believe it's Jerry Goldsmith, but for the first one. But for this one, Ken Thorne, actually it's John Williams, excuse me. But the music for the second one was composed by Ken Thorne. So I guess they just used the theme, Superman's theme for this one, but they got another one. What I like about this one is on the vinyl itself, they etched in lasers Superman's, I don't know if you see it right here, but the logo of Superman is all over the vinyl, which I've never seen on any other vinyls. This is pretty cool. So there you go. I hope you're seeing this on camera right there. Up next, another classic from the sci-fi genre, another Cinerama presentation, 2001, A Space Odyssey, right here. Stanley Kubrick. I feel like it's a must-own, and it's in beautiful, beautiful shape for a record that's like 40 years old, 50 years old. So yeah, right here, 2001, Space Odyssey. Nashville, Robert Altman. This is I guess another one of those various artistes, soundtrack. Everyone that performed in the movie, you could hear on the soundtrack right here, Nashville. The Woman in Red, the various artist soundtrack. Probably music produced by Stevie Wonder. Probably another vinyl soundtrack that I see in so many bins. And I think at some point I said, you know what, fuck it. I'm just gonna pay the $1, and I'm gonna buy it because I feel like one less vinyl of this is probably a good thing. So I got it. There you go. Midsummer Night's sex comedy, Woody Allen back in the early 80s with Mia Farrow and Julie Igerty, Mary Steenburgen, when Woody Allen was in Poison and still respected, I guess. But there you go, Midsummer Night's summer comedy. The Buddy Holly story, starring Gary Busey in his Oscar-nominated role playing Buddy Holly. Probably one of his best performances, and this is before he went crazy, before his accident. Came out in 1978. So, yeah, the Buddy Holly story. Grease 2, because, I got Grease 1, so why not get Grease 2? I'm sure he has fans out there somewhere of this movie, but it's Michelle Pfeiffer's, I think, one of her first, starring role. So there you go. Grease 2. Another Varese Sarabande title. It is Last Embrace. And the music is by, how would you say it? Miklos Rosa. And it's Jonathan Demme. It's one of his first movies he did for United Artists. And it stars Roy Scheider and Janet Margolin. And it's actually a pretty good score. Like I blind bought this, listened to it, and it is actually quite good. And it's a Varese Sarabande, so one more in my collection. So ain't nothing wrong with that. Up next, The Golden Child, Eddie Murphy, at his prime, 1986. The Man Could Do No Wrong. Another various artists soundtrack, obviously. But look at this beautiful cover. My God, it's so cool. Right here, The Golden Child. The Lost Boys, Joel Schumacher directed. The Coreys on there. Richard Donner produced. There's got like In Excess, Roger Daltrey, Jimmy Barn, Echo and the Bunnymen. Get the Kiefer Man in there somewhere, but The Lost Boys right here, classic 80s. Another 80s movie starring Robert Downey Jr. and, we got Anthony Michael Hall and Uma Thurman, Johnny Be Good. Movie that's, a high school movie. That's not as remembered, I don't think, but it does exist. And I've seen it. It's all right. It's okay. Johnny Be Good. Another Brat Pack movie about last night. Robert Lowe, Demi Moore, Jim Belushi's in this, Elizabeth Perkins, another various artiste soundtrack from the 80s. How about some James Bond, The Spy Who Loved Me, with Roger Moore. This one came out, I believe, 1977. And I only have a few. I need way more James Bond in my collection because, the John Barry, especially all his scores, I think he did 7 or 8. Those are the ones to own. But this was done by Marvin Amlick, this one right here. Up next, a comedy with Chevy Chase from the late 70s, I believe, and Goldie Hawn right here. It's Foul Play. And music composed by... there's no music. Okay, no, it's a various artist. I thought it was I know Barry Manilow is in charge of some of these songs right here, but this came out in 1978, and yeah, Copacabana, Barry Manilow. So you know what to expect with this soundtrack right here. Ooh, classic TNA. I don't say tits and ass, but tits and ass movie from the early 80s. I mean, the movie, quite frankly, Porky's, done by Bob Clark, Canadian movie that made a shit ton of money and countless rip-offs of this movie. But this is the OG movie with Kim Cattrall, one of her early roles in this. My copy of this looks very disgusting. Sometimes I feel like touching it, I might get like herpes or something, but it looks old. I don't want to touch it more than that, but there you go, Porky's right here. Up next, The Cotton Club, Francis Ford Coppola directed, Richard Gere, Gregory Hines, Diane Lane, especially Diane Lane. But like a period piece from the 20s or 30s, I believe. The Cotton Club. Oh yes, one of my favorites in my collection, Bill Murray, Scrooged. What can I say about this? It's a classic. With Home Alone, this is the other classic Christmas soundtrack. Just put a little love in your heart. This is a prized possession, one of my favorites. Love this soundtrack. And then I got Blue Thunder, which is a John Badham film from the mid-'80s, starring Roy Scheider. It's composed by who's the man's name? I know it somewhere. It's Arthur B. Rubinstein. There you go, Blue Thunder. So if advanced helicopters piloted by Roy Scheider, then this is your movie right here. And last title for the part 2 of this I want to say series, another Varese Saraband titled The Hard Way. Again, Arthur B. Rubinstein, and this I had to order from Germany because it never got released in the United States. This was released in Europe because Varese Saraband would still... They stopped in the late at the end of the 1990, and from 91, 92, they kept going in Europe, and this is one of the titles. And The Hard Way is one of my favorite movie with James Wood, Michael J. Fox. If you've never seen this comedy, it is so good. And I'm so very happy to have this in my collection. So that is it for part 2 of my vinyl collection overview. So again, please like, share, subscribe. Check out my Instagram feed at Grindhouse Funhouse, where I post on the daily. Let me know in the comment section what are your favorite soundtracks on vinyl. And do come back for part 3. Part 3 is all the vinyls I've bought from October till now. So basically I said, well, why not like make it a full video out of it. So quite a few juicy picks in there. So thank you for watching, and do come back soon. The video will be posted in a couple of days, and until then I will say to you, ciao bye for now.